The way that that happens is not necessarily where you have to build the ship. It's only two things you do. Now, if you bring somebody joy, you solve the problem. If you solve a problem, you bring somebody joy, right? You now have a better chance of being more productive. And that's what I love about entrepreneurship. When you really get to the core of it, it is of being of value to others.
Please join me in welcoming Mr. Daymond John. Daymond? So what would be your advice to people when they think about building their own business or entrepreneurship?
Thank you for having me. When I think about entrepreneurship, I think about the core of entrepreneurship is really finding the way that you can add the most value to your customer or a person or a family or people that you feel that you wanted the same thing. And the way that that happens is not necessarily where you have to build the ship. Mm-hmm. If you are spending too much time building the ship, well, then you're not spending enough time being of service and of value to others. And there are plenty of entrepreneurs in this world who didn't create something, but they found something and they were able to put their natural spin and validation and love of it. And that's what really entrepreneurship is. Don't get too confused that you have to build it. Most of the entrepreneurs fail because they wake up in the morning, and every entrepreneur truly wants to either solve a problem for somebody or bring somebody joy. That's the only two things you do. Now, if you bring somebody joy, you solve the problem. If you solve a problem, you bring somebody joy, right? But when you wake up as an entrepreneur, you start the business, well, I have to deal with shipping and manufacturing and social media and this and that. You have to know a world when all you wanted to do was this. Now, if there's somebody who has all of this, and now you go, okay, now I can do what I do best and care about you, and I have a system, so you now have a better chance of being more productive. And that's what I love about entrepreneurship. When you really get to the core of it, it is of being of value to others. So I have one question for you, Carson. So we want to learn directly from you, from an Aflac team member. So you survived childhood cancer, and I'm also a cancer survivor, and you're also a patient at Aflac Cancer Center. Now, how did that experience affect you and your leadership at Aflac?
Well, I tell people all the time that I feel like Aflac changed and really saved my life. And I believe that, with every ounce of my being. But I think that experience of going through that, I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason, right? Even if we don't see it in that moment, the outcome on the other side, it's easy to look back and say, okay, now I see why things happen. And I look at that experience and know that, like, had I not gone through that, who knows if I would have ever, even explored this opportunity. Cancer insurance is really what this company was built on. Mm-hmm. And so it's a pillar of what we do every day. And the way that it impacted myself and my family, going through that is something that I try to share with my team. I try to share with potential policyholders, and then get to share with policyholders when they do get that diagnosis. So I think being able to pursue and push through that really taught me some very valuable lessons, in leadership that I try to use every day.
Are you a CEO that knows that you've done everything to master your craft? Now you need to take your personal brand to the next level? Well, I love working one-on-one with game-changing CEOs. And if you're interested, reach out. Go to workwithashark.com and fill out the form. Now, back to the video. Lauren, what does it take to make a career change like yours, and how can others achieve the success very similar to yours?
Well, Daymond, when I switched over, I reached out to Aflac. I was really feeling the heat from the P&C side, which I know that all across the nation, I'm sure that they are too.
Yeah.
I reached out to my market director, Kyle Rice, and had that meeting, and I didn't know if I was going to be a broker relationship or an agent, mm-hmm. but after the meeting, I knew that I definitely wanted to be an agent with Aflac. My years of experience in the insurance industry, no amount of work that I put in really set me apart. But here with Aflac, I am rewarded for the work that I put in. They notice me. I'm not just a number to them.
Right.
So, you know, my district coordinator, Laura, when I first met her, she said, "Do you want to know what it takes to be successful with Aflac?" And her response was so short, but has stood true. She said, "You got to help people." And that's what I've been doing. And I started with Aflac in March of this year, and I've helped many people just since March. I have earned awards and even got to go to the Bahamas with National Convention. And then in August of this year, I sold my agency. This is what I want to do forever.
Wow.
I mean, the financial stability that I've received from Aflac has allowed me to sell it.
Well, why did you decide to sell the agency, you know, in such a short period of time? Was it just that you just fell in love and you said, wow, all the stuff I've done before has led me to this moment, but this is really the moment?
Yeah, this is the first time that I've felt like this is where I'm supposed to be. I knew that I've always wanted to do insurance.
Yeah.
Straight out of high school, I knew that's what I wanted to do.
Sherry, so great to see you, and thanks for joining. I'll turn it over to you to ask your question.
Awesome. Well, we are so excited here in Irvine, California to be joining you guys. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here today. Daymond, so growing up in the inner city, Inglewood, California, we don't often have the opportunity to learn about wealth and legacy building. So me being the first one, my ultimate goal here with my Aflac sales career is to build that legacy. My question to you today is, if you could talk to your younger self, talk to all of us here today, if you can give us some advice on how to build that legacy and lead people and build that sustainable business, how would you do that?
Well, building a sustainable business first goes to the core of being of service. But at the end of the day, we all need to understand how to operate and how money works. And a lot of us, we feel, you know, we get gloss over our eyes, or we feel inferior because we don't know how money works. But we weren't taught that as children in school. We were taught, we're going off an old education system that is 80 years old that shows us how to build ships to go to war and to be great employees, but not entrepreneurs. And the reality is our teachers, who are, I call them, you know, an underappreciated commodity in this country. Our teachers may know everything about science and about history and English, but they also as well are not educated in financial intelligence. So first, it's basically to understand numbers and how they work, and it's really not that complicated. So first of all is, of course, to try to teach your children these things, and I wrote a book, Little Daymond Learns to Earn, on that. Then the second is exactly what is, and the reason we're here is passing down of how to be of value and service to those that you serve. And if that is the DNA of the family, of the organization, you always go back to that. No matter, social media will change, and communication will change, and products will change, but if you understand that core of service and being of service, and you pass that down, that is the most important thing. But again, you got to look at the numbers too and add that.
What would you suggest for someone like myself to stay fresh and innovative? And not just myself, but some of the veteran people in the Aflac Nation.
I like to say this about business and about life in general. People think that at some point or another you're going to arrive. You don't arrive. You always have to stay hungry. And the theory of that is every problem that you solve, you actually create another problem. You see, if you become really great at sales, but you don't have enough great customer service, well, then if you hire customer service, well, then you have another set of issues and challenges that you must overcome to solve those. And once you do that, like in my industry, when I had great customer service, well, now I have a bunch of stuff coming back to the warehouse. Well, now I got to get a bigger warehouse. When I have to get a bigger warehouse, well, how do I ship things to people to get rid of them and things of that nature? The bottom line is today, you may be learning about how social media works, and tomorrow you may be advancing yourself on AI, on how AI works. And I'm not talking about simple things like researching. You know, right now I can answer 50,000 people with a certain AI technology that I filmed myself for 1 hour. And after that 1 hour that I filmed myself, if you emailed me in a questionnaire and you filled out a questionnaire, you're from LA, you're an Aflac salesperson, you like to dress sharp, my video would come back to 50,000 people. I can answer in 30 seconds with each a customized video to say, hey, heard you in LA. Congratulations on the Dodgers. By the way, the Yankees are better. But, you know, I can have a very fun video that answers you. That's the simplicity of AI. You know what happens? that allows you to do what you do best. Other people say, well, I'm just getting an AI message. Your AI message can say, this is an AI message because I'm using technology. I'm going to use the same technology to advance whatever I'm doing with you, but I'm staying on track on what I'm supposed to do, and this is taking the time away. This is utilizing my time that I would be spending doing this, so I'm concentrating on you. So it's always about growing and constantly learning. And I'm going to leave this last point. If we think when we're with successful companies or successful brands or things of that nature that you arrive, well, why don't you call Blockbuster and BlackBerry and Fridays and Red Lobster? It's not working for them. Or Kodak. You never arrive. You have to stay hungry, keep educating yourself, and you're with a great organization that's already doing a lot of the homework for you. Now you just got to deliver it.
How important is goal setting?
Well, we set our goals every single day. Every single person today got up and they knew what they were going to put on and they knew how they were going to get here. Bus, plane, train, a donkey, whatever the case is, right? Mm-hmm. You set goals every single day. You usually let more people set goals for you than you set for yourself. The time you need to be on a plane, train, automobile, or Zoom. Are you in charge of setting the goals for yourself? Because if you're not in charge, you will let other people set goals for you. You see, the subconscious mind, as science has proven, it cannot tell the difference of what is reality or fake. And so if you don't set the positive goals with yourself, you know what you set in there? I can't make it to be $1 million agent. It's never happened before. People are going to tell you, you're going to embarrass yourself. You're going to embarrass us. We don't do that. I've never heard of that. And you will let your mind be filled with these goals that are negative too. So you have to fill your mind with these positive goals that I'm going to achieve this. I'm not going to let it stop me. I'm going to act. I'm going to learn. I'm going to repeat. I'm going to get rid of these friends around me because they're truly not friends. They're not friends to themselves. They're never going to be friends to me. I'm going to make room for other people that I deserve their love and they deserve my love. You have to set these positive goals for yourself. And you're around a room full of people that have these same positive goals. When you're in that ship with 2,000 people, you have a bunch of other people that were told no, right? And you have a bunch of other people that are ready to fight for you. Mm-hmm. Goals and being an entrepreneur and an intrapreneur and a person, it's a team sport. Find the people that think just like you.
And those are the people you probably should surround yourself with.
I surround myself with all my sharks except for Kevin O'Leary. And that's why, because I want to be successful in life.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I think you want to have people, surround yourself with people who are going to help you grow, who are going to challenge you.
Who are going to challenge you. You know, you have to remember one thing about being an entrepreneur thinking person. The best entrepreneur thinking people, they're vulnerable. They walk in the room and they say, they're confident, but they're vulnerable. They come in and say, I know everything I need to know about this, but I don't know that. You're really good at that. You mind finding a way that I can serve you and maybe you can help me a little bit with this? People want to fight for you after that.
Mm-hmm. What would be your closing comments to the folks around the country that are looking at the Aflac career opportunity?
I find the 3 pillars to success is being very honest and doing exactly what you know you need to do. Number 2 after that is setting the goals as we talked about. And number 3 is doing your homework to accomplish it. I don't care if it's in your personal relationship. I don't care if it's in business. But if number 1 is wrong and you're not being honest with yourself because you're doing it for somebody else or the fear of what everybody's going to say, well, the goals are going to be wrong on how to get there. And if the goals are wrong, well, the homework and the research you're going to do is never going to be the right thing. But if you know that what you want to do is provide this value to people, then you see, I grew up making shirts, and that's great. But I didn't grow up saving lives. I didn't grow up giving a family that worked for everything in their life to see that it all being taken away because they didn't have the right way of ensuring or coverage themselves. I didn't grow up to see the effect you have on people, on knowing that their loved ones in them have, whether it is the proper coverage or whether it is a peace of mind. I didn't grow up seeing that. That is the most ultimate rewarding thing.
Daymond, for you, Lauren, Carson, I want to thank you. Let's give them a big round of applause.
Man, I love working with CEOs and entrepreneurs. And if you think you qualify, go to workwithashark.com.